Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 mAh power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to Bitcoin Bulletin, your trusted source of news and analysis on all things crypto. Today, we're talking about a developing story that's got everyone in Switzerland buzzing: the Swiss National Bank's stance on adding Bitcoin to its reserves. So let's dive into it. The Swiss National Bank, one of the most stable central banks in the world, has been under pressure from the local crypto industry to add Bitcoin to its currency reserves. But, as we know, the bank's chief, Martin Schlegel, has been saying no to this idea for a while now. In fact, back in early March, Schlegel explicitly stated that he doesn't want to make Bitcoin a reserve asset in Switzerland, citing reasons such as lack of stability, liquidity concerns, and security risks. And it seems like his stance hasn't changed one bit. Now, you might wonder why the Swiss National Bank is hesitant to add Bitcoin to its reserves. Well, there are a few good reasons for that. For starters, holding Bitcoin would require the bank to manage a significant amount of volatile assets, which can be a real challenge. And then there's the issue of liquidity. What happens if there's a market downturn and people start selling their Bitcoins? The bank wouldn't want to be left with a huge stash of unsellable assets. But beyond these practical concerns, Schlegel also has a philosophical objection to holding Bitcoin as a reserve asset. He believes that Bitcoin can't be relied upon as a store of value or a hedge against inflation, precisely because its price is so subject to wild fluctuations. Now, this might seem like a pretty conventional view from the perspective of central banks, but it's worth noting that other countries have taken a very different approach. In fact, some nations are actually considering adding Bitcoin to their reserves as a way to diversify their currency holdings and reduce their dependence on traditional fiat currencies. But what about the argument that holding Bitcoin would give Switzerland more control over its monetary policy? That's exactly the point made by Lucius Macer, a board member of Bitcoin Suisse. He claims that by adding Bitcoin to its reserves, Switzerland could avoid some of the risks associated with printing money to fund government programs, and that's an idea that's gaining traction among crypto enthusiasts. Interestingly, this campaign for a Bitcoin reserve has already seen some significant support from industry heavyweights in the blockchain space. For example, Zhu Zhangane, vice president of energy and mining at Tether, helped launch the initiative back in December. And it's not just individual companies, even global grocery giant Spar is rolling out Bitcoin-based payments in a Swiss city. So what does all this mean for Switzerland's economy? It's worth noting that the country has been looking to position itself as a hub for blockchain enterprise, and its crypto valley is already home to some of the biggest players in the industry. But whether adding Bitcoin to its reserves will help achieve that goal remains to be seen. That said, one thing is clear. The Swiss National Bank's stance on Bitcoin has sparked a lively debate about the role of crypto in monetary policy and the future of central banking. And as we move forward, it'll be interesting to see how this conversation unfolds. That's all for today's episode of Bitcoin Bulletin. Thanks for watching.